This is Jake Law. This is 17 Questions with Madecipha. So tell us about Macabre Mentality and what it was like putting it together.
It's my 6th LP. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So a lot of the joints that are on that one, I've had some of those beats like for a long time just sitting in folders that I was completely forgotten about. Like I have a track called Apricity. The word apricity means the warmth of the sun in the wintertime. And that, like, when I found out about that one, the definition of that word, I was like, yo, that's a song title right there. And like, you know, if you listen to the song, it talks about like even in the, you know, how my heart's frozen and shit like that. But that beat in particular was made by this dude. I got one beat from him a long time ago, and it kind of just sat there, and it has like an eerie vibe to it, and I always liked it, but it wasn't the time or place for it with anything else I've done. And when I was making this album, I kind of wanted it to have an eerie vibe to it. So I went through and I picked out a lot of beats, you know, some live. There's a couple Anthem ones up there. This is, I promised, the last time I use any of their beats. We'll get into them later. But I went specifically cherry picking for ones that had kind of an eerie vibe to them, and I put them all together, and I kind of ran with that whole with that vibe.
Yeah. There's only one feature on this album. You usually have several. Why the change, and what made you decide that?
Most of my LPs, I have a lot of, like, I go up to people and I like, you know, I try to be like buddies with everyone in the CT hip hop scene, and even though I feel like I'm kind of the black sheep, but, you know, I would ask people to be on my albums and they don't ask me back to be on theirs or ever to do songs or anything like that. And I feel like lyrically I can hang in there with anybody, not to be cocky, but there's not been too many people that could say they really totally outshined me. I always gave it a valiant effort. And there's just been a lot of cases where there's dudes from I'm from the struggle. I like have a very difficult life, and I'm not going to tell you my whole life story, but I grind, and I come from like a lot of like just despair and hardship and welfare and all that. And a lot of the dudes from the CT hip hop scene are dope MCs, but they're from the suburbs and they're like spoiled little rich kids. And I don't want to call names out, but there's been times where I've gotten big collaborations that someone knows someone but couldn't get them on the song, and I got them on the song and invited them on, and they just didn't really show me a lot of like thanks. They weren't really grateful for it and a lot of that. So I kind of on this one was like, fuck everybody, I'm gonna just do my own thing. Like, ain't nobody knocking on my door to ask me. And not that I got bitter about that or anything like that, but I just got sick of the ass kissing in the CT hip hop scene, where it's like everyone's friends with one another and whatever. And I listen to these dudes and I'm like, yo, I'm really not really that impressed with a majority of what people are doing. And I'm so different and so unique that it kind of, like I said, I get kind of blacklisted. That this one, I decided it was going to be predominantly me. It was going to be entirely me, and I wound up meeting a group that goes by Body Bag Syndicate from Colorado. They're cool, like Twisted. They were coming up in the horrorcore scene, and we went to do a Twisted show, and it kind of didn't go in our favor. We were supposed to meet Twisted, and their manager kind of played us a little bit and took our money, and that's another situation. But I met them, and I like hooked them up with some specimens, and we became kind of cool when they did it on the homie shit. And I wound up, like, I was gonna save that song for No Turning Back Volume 4, and I decided just to put it on because the vibe kind of fit the rest of the album.
Is there any news on your Ghost Rapper show?
All I could really say is that there's a guy that I met. I went to UFC, I'm a big UFC fan. I went to UFC at Madison Square Garden the night in November that, not this past November, the November before, that GSP beat Michael Bisping. I was at that event. I went by myself. I was limping. I hurt my foot in kickboxing. And I met a guy on the train. He had a Wu-Tang shirt on, but it was the Ric Flair, and then it said his face, and then it like, woo, and then it said Tang. And we got involved in a hip-hop conversation about whatever, and I let him check out some of my tracks. I played him the joint with Cannabis, and from there he added me on Facebook, but we never talked. It was just one of those where I'm like, oh, let me add you on Facebook, you add me, and nothing happened. And I was talking about a certain TV network that I'm not going to mention, but I kept having dreams of them, and he messaged me, and it turns out that he works for them, and he's like a higher up. So I sent him everything, blah, blah, blah. And at first he was cool, he was like nice, but he was kind of cold. But I was persistent with him and I kind of won him over. And now he's kind of acting like an A&R trying to build the show for me with another network because he doesn't think that his network is proper for me, but there is one in particular that he does, and he's been in communication with them. So what I did was I sent them a bunch of like my Up Rocks articles, a bunch of like my websites, a bunch of my music videos, some media, all that stuff, my CD reviews from Fago Lovers, all the important shit, and I put it in an email, and he's presenting with them and waiting for a face-to-face, and now I'm just kind of like sitting there waiting for this to happen. I don't know if I'm going to get the yes, I don't know if I'm going to get the no, but that's where we're at right now with that.
Okay. I see you've been doing a lot of grave rubbings. How did all that get started, and what are your plans for that?
I actually did one on my birthday in 2016, and then I didn't do another one for a while. And it's weird. I remember reading like Ghost Beach, Goosebumps book. I read it in like a day when I was a little kid, and the character in it talked about doing grave rubbings that were really old. And I remember reading it like, oh, because I was in Ohio at the time with my dad, and I remember being like, there's graves like that in Connecticut, and I was all fascinated by it. And then I just had all this paper, and it just turned into its own thing, man. I have hundreds of them now. Like in the other room, just right down the tunnel, I got like a whole gallery set up. I make my own waxes. I do special ones. I'm probably gonna open up open studios on Sunday night. I'm probably gonna open up and let people come check them out. I sell them on my Etsy store, and I just really enjoy them, and I try to get good ones, and I try not to do the same color every time. I make, like I said, I make custom colors, and we travel all around and do it, and it kind of goes perfect because I'll bring a couple pieces of paper, we'll go ghost hunting, I'll get a couple grave rubbings, then we'll do an investigation or whatever like that, and it's kind of like a momentum, and they just kind of been piling up, and it's to the point now that I probably got like 350, 400 of them, and I ordered some paper today, just a little while ago. My birthday's in a couple weeks. There's a new cemetery I'm going to be going to, and there's a stone I want to get, and that's pretty much like, you know, I've slowed down in the last couple months because I've been going so hard, and it's hot out, but I mean, I definitely became a life of its own.
Any big ghost hunts planned this year?
Well, me and you are supposed to go to Fairfield Hills,
yep,
sooner or later, and then we're gonna try to find Blood Cemetery sooner or later, right?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna find that.
There's a cemetery called Blood Cemetery that, since I've been doing this, it's been my holy grail, and it's supposed to be in Putnam or Woodstock or whatever, and it's eluded me for a long time. And Jake over here kind of thinks he found the coordinates using would you use satellite?
Yeah, satellite.
Satellite, and we have like an image of where it might be. So we're gonna go check that out at some point. The next month or two when it starts to cool down, maybe like September. Try to do that. We're going to Salem on Halloween. Not that that's a ghost hunt, but that's still pretty cool.
That's gonna be cool. What's up with your oddities hustle?
Yeah, man, there's a whole bunch of them right over there. We went on Sunday. We went to New York to the Reptile Expo. This guy gave me a bunch of dead stuff. I preserved it. I got a cool deformed snake. It's just, it is what it is. I got a whole room full of oddities, preserved specimens. I sell some stuff. I keep some stuff. I'm in the process of, storing everything in formalin rather than alcohol. I was working on that all day today. That's basically what my day was, just swapping out alcohol for formalin and make everything. It's expensive to do that. I want my collection to be pristine and in the best shape possible. And I have a little Etsy store if you want to check it out. It's also like there's a link to it on my website. You can just go to madecipha.com. It's on the store. It'll say oddities, and it links you right to my Etsy store. But you can occasionally get. I keep about 30 to 40 things up there, and then as I get them, every couple weeks I upload it, and it's just a straight little side hustle. It's spending money.
What is the status of Unrighteousness Gone in UFO?
With Righteousness Gone kind of caught fire in underground rap. Like, we are getting a lot of views, people are messaging me, like, we definitely got a cult following, but me and Anthro haven't spoke since the breakup in like February 2015. There's been no word either or. I like almost would be willing to talk to them to squash it, but like they're kind of like they make a lot of memes about me. They sit online and talk shit about me when I make moves. I'm like still doing things, and I was always the main guy. I was always the one that carried everybody, and I was the one that like they needed me more than I needed them, and they thought it was vice versa. And without me, they really haven't gone anywhere. And with me, without them, I'm just fine. So it's one of those things that it would have to be like mutual parties apologizing and everything like that to smooth over. I always wanted to do another Righteousness Gone album, but at this point, the more that time keeps going by, I'm kind of just like, yo, I'm just better off doing my own thing. There was a lot of little issues that me and him had that are probably, we can't reconcile at this point. And as far as UFO, Freeze went and made a really brutal diss to me last year, and I wish him the best. I think he's really going to regret it. I think he's going to regret it more than Ian Throwing Live and everybody else. I think that this whole show is going to happen and things are going to start going in my favor. And I kind of know a mutual friend of like a kid that's on their label that whatever, and he kind of told me that Freeze kind of regrets it already. I was waiting for an apology, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But as far as UFO, there'll never be another UFO project again. I didn't really like that project to begin with. Freeze wanted to do it. I didn't like a lot of the beats. I like the beats. You could tell the ones I liked on. They were like my style. The boom bap ones, the ones that were just me and him, and then some of them the like futuristic sounding ones and shit. I didn't want to do it, but I did it just for the sake of like him wanting to make the group happen and everything like that. But that wasn't like one of my projects. That was one of his projects, and I just kind of went along with it. And I didn't want to I was like, all right, fine, I'll throw verses down, and I didn't want to really, whatever, but I'm not crying over that one. But Righteousness Gone was my favorite group that I've been in, and that one hurts a little bit. But again, like I'm content with the things I'm doing now, and I'm happy, and the ball's still rolling, and I'm making a lot of moves that no matter what happens, I'm going to be cool.
Is there any new artists on Spider Bite Records?
Every time I try to sign an artist, they're flaky, and there is, but I feel like you're going to ask me about it in a little bit, so I'll save it for then. But as far as rap artists are concerned, absolutely not. There's a couple of people I had interest in that I really extended my hand, you know what I'm saying? And then they kept flaking on me, coming back and forth, and then they were like, I want to be down, I don't want to be down, I don't want to be down, and I'm just like, yo, I don't have time for unloyal people. Like I said, everything that happened with UFO and Righteousness Gone and everything like that, I feel like sometimes it's just better off doing my own thing and staying humble and staying faithful to myself and just believing in the dream. And if I meet someone and there's like an undeniable chemistry between us and we develop a good relationship or something like that and they want to get down, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I'm not saying that it won't happen, but I'm not actively looking to put anybody out right now. I have my hands full with a lot of projects.
Do you have any shows planned?
No, not right now. I don't really like doing local shows. I was talking to my girlfriend about this. I have no plan on doing at least any rap shows. When you do them, sometimes people come out, sometimes not, and I'm very grateful and thankful for, even if there's 30 people that come out, that pay the $10 to see me, like I get all that. But I was telling her earlier about like the Jedi Mind Trick show and shit, when there's like a crowd of people, and like me and Luminol had really good stage presence together in Modify Psi, and like we knew each other shit real well when we would rock shows and stuff like that, and it was big crowds and everything like that, that it vibed really well, that the energy I get, I do really well. And unless you're on a big show with a big crowd like that, then the local shows just aren't really cutting it. And I'm not in a market to like pay to play anymore. Like the game's kind of changed a little bit, where if you want the ICP show or you want the Tech 9 show or the Cannabis show or anything like that we used to do. I used to work at Toads. I don't work there anymore, so that avenue got cut off. Now you have to like pay out of pocket to buy the tickets in advance and then try to hustle the tickets to make your money back. And it's just this whole big, everything got kind of screwy. It used to not be like that, and everything is like that now. Even if you want to do local shows, they want you to like rent the bar, and it's so annoying it's a lot of like work. I flyer cars, I put a lot into it, and it's when you put that much energy and time and money into it, and then it doesn't like hit a home run, you're left feeling kind of discouraged, and I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. I love performing, and I want to perform again, and I think there's going to be some opportunities for me, but I'm in no rush to do a bunch of local bar shows right now. It completely takes the wind out of me.
What are you working on now?
Arguments with God. I'm recording Arguments with God. I have 6 out of 8 tracks done, and I'm gonna release. And that's with my man, what up, Intricate Chuck. He produced the whole thing. He's actually featured on a song called Arguments with God, the title track. And after that, I already have about 4 or 5 songs with my boy Evo. Evo was on Macabre Mentality. He did Unapproachable. He did Dirt in the Ground. He did a few, maybe like 3 or 4 songs on Macabre Mentality. And I'm doing an EP with him next. That is written. That's going to be called Appetite for Dysfunction. And we're going to redo the Guns N' Roses cover. And I also wrote a mixtape that's called Rhyme Disease Volume 1, Haunting in Connecticut. That's due to come out in February. So I'm just going from one project to another. That's how I keep busy. It's I tell people Spider Bite Records is my 9 to 5. I don't have a normal job like everybody else. This is all I really know. So in order to keep myself sane and keep myself motivated and everything like that, I usually simultaneously work at like 3 or 4 projects at the same time. And from there, just keep them coming out. It takes about a year for it to go from the pad to a CD, but in that length of time, while it's happening in the timeline, I'm working on other stuff, and it's always been a nonstop. I'm always writing something, and then it just comes out when it's lined up. You know what I mean?
How is jiu-jitsu working out for you?
Jiu-jitsu, Carlson Gracie, what's up, Bulldogs? It's been a struggle. I've been doing it for 2.5 years. Some days I go in there and I kick ass, and some days I get my ass kicked. So some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail. I will say that I train with a good group of guys. There's a lot of black belts, a lot of brown belts, a lot of purple belts. Everybody's a teacher. It's humbling, and it's frustrating at the same time. It's like you watch certain guys come in there that haven't been there as long as you, and they're learning it. I'm not learning jiu-jitsu. It's not coming to me the same way rap came to me. I was always good with rap. I don't mean that in a cocky way, but like when I started rapping, I obviously didn't have the flow and the abilities that I have now. Those came with time, but I was still really good. Like I jumped into it like I would have been a blue belt in rap when I started. I was like really good at putting words together, and I was really good at like what I was thinking and what I was talking about, my subject matter. And as time went on, like now I'd be like a multi-stripe black belt in rap. Like I'm really good, you know what I mean? But with jiu-jitsu, it's kind of like you go in there and you learn a move, you'll do it for like 2 hours, and then you go home and forget it, and then you go back next week like huh? So it's I still go, and I'm gonna keep paying my dues, and I'm gonna keep staying hungry, and you know what I mean? Like I love all my training partners, and I'm well liked in the locker room. That's for sure. Like the guys like me, you know what I mean, and I like doing it. But there are days that I want to quit, and then there's days that I think it's the funnest thing in the world.
So explain to those of us who don't understand your transformation with your mental health and your support of Pastor Joel Osteen.
Yeah. So my whole life has been an up and down, constant struggle. I have bipolar 1. I'm on a lot of medication. I did a year in one residential, a year in another. It's just a matter of, trying to get myself together and get a grip. I've had suicides in my family on both sides. I've attempted suicide myself. I've had a very, very difficult life. I'm not a little rich kid from the suburbs. I grew up in a basement with rats, flooded, no father, welfare. I don't really know too many people that had it harder than me, especially in the CT hip hop scene. And I used to be bitter about that, and I used to really let that, like I felt like I was owed something because of all the shitty shit that happened to me. But I am a fan of Pastor Osteen. I listen to him constantly. I listen to him every day, sometimes just all day, every day, and I really let it take root in my spirit. And he's transformed me to the point now where like I'm in a relationship with a girl. She's awesome. A lot of the things he talks about, I use in the relationship, and it's been working out. And my relationships with my peers and other associates and stuff like that, and people that are really close to me could see the transformation that I've made. And I'm always striving to be a better person. And there's never going to be something that you don't. You're always going to be something that you need to work on. You know what I mean? And I just am constantly trying to have a good mentality now and stay positive rather than the way I was, and I'm really proud of that. And I know a lot of people, like to criticize me, and there's a lot of scrutiny that comes with it. Oh, how do you listen to that guy? He's rich, blah blah blah. And I'm like, listen, man, I don't care that the guy got money. If he had 5 Lamborghinis, I really wouldn't give a flying fuck. You know what I'm saying? He sells a lot of books. He helps a lot of people. If you listen to what he's saying and stuff like that, and you pertain it to what you are, I see a difference in myself. If a lot of people were addicts, they go to AA and NA. I'm not judging them. I don't know why people are judging me for trying to make myself a better person. And I found something that works, and something that I think is a healthy outlet, and something that makes me strive to be better every day. So it is what it is, man. I'll defend the guy to the cows come home, and I'm definitely a proud supporter all day.
Now, Spider-Bite Records is your main gig, and all your other endeavors come under that banner. Is there parts of it you enjoy more than others, and what parts do you not enjoy?
I enjoy being in the studio, like recording. That's dope. I'm recording with, what up, James Morey right now. He's probably coming in a little while, actually. I'm recording with him. He's my new sound engineer. It's working out real well. We have a lot of chemistry in the studio together. Everything's coming out good. He's a great engineer. He's also a very talented musician. I saw him play as a theremin, which if you don't know what a theremin is, look it up because they're fucking awesome. But I like stuff like that. I like writing. The writing process, it's like connecting the dots for me. It's like a puzzle. Like how I put words together and sitting there, like those are probably my favorite things. Like actually writing and recording, I like a lot. I like doing behind the scenes stuff, like making the artwork and constructing everything. I don't like practicing when there's a show and you have to listen to the same song over and over. Like I definitely think I'm dope. I'm a big fan of my stuff. I like myself, you know what I mean? But I don't want to listen to myself 50 fucking times in a row. And that's how you practice. You have to just listen to the same song over and over and over and over. And I get tired of it. And then you have to learn it. And then it's kind of like, oh, this is redundant. I don't like doing shit like that. I don't like doing the flyering for cars. I feel like I've been in the game 17 years. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm still out doing shit like that, trying to get my name out there. I don't like that. I try not to get bitter, but like I put a lot into it and I only get like a little bit of views online, like where other people that aren't as good as me get whatever. Like that part of it sucks. Like, but as far as the enjoying process, which is what I try to focus on, I really like the writing and I really like the recording and creating the project. Like sitting down with my graphic designer and making the album cover and all that shit is really fun for me. But some of the business stuff, like the putting it on iTunes, the pressing it up, a lot of that I wish I had someone to help me with, and it could become kind of tedious. But no job is going to be fun 24/7. You're never going to find something that is enjoyable all the time, and it's part of the territory. And I guess overall I love what I do, so I take it with a grain of salt.
So you recently released a single called Baby Blue from your upcoming Arguments with God EP. This is more a love song and shows a softer side to you we haven't seen. Is there going to be more tracks like this in the future? And are you getting ready to settle down and possibly change your style?
Yeah, so Baby Blue was for this girl that I'm dating, Kelly. Obviously I'm hoping that it goes well because I made a love song for her. I've never really done that before. I've had relationship songs in the past, but I wouldn't really consider them love songs. They're more or less like go fuck yourself songs. But with that being said, I'm 36 years old, about to be 37, and yeah, she is a nice girl, and I don't really have a family. I've been a loner. I've been the black sheep. I've been the lone wolf for a long time. And sometimes it's really cool and I get solitude out of it and I enjoy being by myself. And then there's times where I really want a family of my own, and I really to the point now where I'm like, okay, there's the potential for this one to go somewhere. So as far as so that I did that to let her know that I'm really serious, and that what I'm saying, she's special. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely I feel like it's the potential to really go anywhere. As far as changing my style, I feel like my style is kind of changing. I listen to a lot of Joel, and if you listen to the Arguments with God, it still has that hardcore vibe, I have a song called Bartimaeus the Beggar. That's like a Bible story. Like I have a lot of even going back to like a couple years ago. It just turned 2 years ago for the All Bets Are Off. There's a lot of like biblical, more chill, mellowing out kind of a phase going on. Macabre Mentality, a little bit more eerie. So I think I'm going a little bit more mellow. I think I'm still keeping the hard edge to me, but I'm maturing. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting older now. I'm not in my 20s. I think that, you know, I'm not gonna be obviously rapping about like fucking mad bitches if I'm like in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like I think stuff like that's probably gonna chill out a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just be talking about the things I want to talk about and not like be as lewd and crude as I've been in the past. And you know, stuff like that, debaucherous. Like I don't think I'm gonna be saying some stuff like that. You know what I mean? Even though like my girlfriend heard me rap obviously a million times, and she doesn't care. She told me to do what's gonna bring the money in basically. But out of respect and everything like that, I still don't. I still feel like I'm just gonna say what I need to say, and the stuff like that I already said it. So it's just like moving forward, just progress. You know.
Rumor has it you're in a band now. Care to share any info on that project?
All right, so this is what I was talking about earlier as far as no rappers. So I'm in a band. It's called Collydra. It's the scientific name of a snapping turtle, but we're spelling it Kill Hydra. Collydra. Jake here is the bassist. Mark Smith is the guitarist, and my man Felix is the drummer. And we got a couple songs together. We're covering a Rage Against the Machine song. We actually the drum set's right behind us. We jam in this room right here. And that's kind of my focus right now. I'm still going to put rap stuff out, but like I have no desire to do an Arguments with God release party, but I can't wait to kind of go into the metal scene because I'm still rapping. It's kind of like we are like, you know, doing a Rage Against the Machine thing. It's kind of going to be like, there's not going to be, my style is going to be a little different. It's going to be like kind of Marilyn Manson-ish, but like in rhyme form, like dark over this. So figure like Marilyn Manson meets a lyrical rapper meets Rage Against the Machine. That's kind of like the vibe that we're going for, and it's working out really well. We got a couple songs, and I'm really excited about it. And I think you know, I've been doing the CT hip hop scene for a while. I just played it out now. I've like know everybody. No one comes to my shows. I don't go to other people's shows anymore. It's tiring, and it like took a toll on my spirit that I'm looking forward to. You know, this is the 17th year. 17 is a big number. It means completion biblically. It's an important number, and I want to try something new. And it's cool because I still get to rap. It's just like with a band this time. So it's like a big deal, and we're in the process of doing that.
You always had a strong merch game. Anything new coming this year?
I got a couple posters lined up. I'm gonna probably you know, my girl made me a prototype, red and yellow, Spider by Records Hulkamania shirt. I'm probably gonna have those made. What else? The lighters with the new logo. I don't have a lot of merch with the new logo yet, so I'm probably gonna start making all the stuff that I made. I got the decals. My girl has a decal company. She made me a bunch of decals. Thank you, Kelly. Stuff like that I'm probably gonna go back and just kind of remake everything that I had with the new, like the normal shirts, the Hogan shirts, a couple posters. There's gonna be a limited edition version of Arguments with God. The back cover is gonna be different. The first 100 copies will have that. So I do that pretty much every time I put out a CD. People like to collect them and stuff like that. I got kids that are, you know, trying to get all the rare ones and stuff like that. So stuff like that, nothing really too crazy. I might make more Ouija boards and stuff. I got the horror convention coming up that I'll be on in September. So a lot of stickers. My sticker game is strong right now. Stuff like that. There will be some added stuff. Just so I could say is I don't know yet. It's all a matter of like putting it all together. Just keep checking the website, and over the next couple months, hopefully there'll be a bunch of shit on there.
You turned 37 in August. Any big plans?
Well, I want to go to the cemetery. There's a really cool tombstone that has like a guy in a coffin. He's like a skull, and I want to get some grave rubbings on it. I know it sounds kind of macabre that, you know, I do that, but you know, for the last however many years, I can't even, a long time, I always go to one of my favorite cemeteries or a new spot on my birthday. I've been doing it for a while. And I want to do that, and you know, maybe get like sushi. I don't know. Birthday's kind of another day, but you know, I'm going to be spending it with my girlfriend, so I'm excited about that. I'm sure she got